Today we're going to dive into the story of Jason, a lonely billionaire, and Charlotte, a humble young cook. From completely different worlds, their paths cross unexpectedly, showing that true love can arise where you least expect it. Come with me. Jason Albianc, a young billionaire with a reputation for being rather demanding and difficult to deal with, lived alone in a stunning mansion. Despite his attractive appearance, Jason had lost faith in love. He had been through a complicated relationship that resulted in a disastrous marriage, leaving deep scars on his heart. This failed marriage made Jason believe that love was nothing more than an illusion. Jason's house showed what he was like: huge, cold, and super organized. Nothing was out of place, everything was well planned. He lived surrounded by luxury and wealth, and yet he felt emptiness in his life. On the other hand, in this story we have Charlotte, a very talented cook who lived in a remote village. She came from a humble family and dedicated her life to caring for her sick father and elderly mother. She had a generous heart and an incredible talent in the kitchen, always dreaming of a better future for her family. Charlotte's house was very simple, and she lived in a place where everyone was as poor as she was. She was responsible for supporting the family. Charlotte worked hard to save money to pay for a surgery that her father needed to have, where the costs were very high. She heard about a job opening to be a cook at a rich man's mansion and, needing money, wasted no time in applying. Surprisingly, she was hired. Little did she know that this new opportunity would not only change her life, but Jason's as well. Unlike the other cooks, Charlotte had a special talent. Her food made people feel happy and comfortable. But she knew that her new boss, Jason, was famously difficult to please. Nevertheless, Charlotte took up the challenge with courage, ready to show her talent and do her best. On her first day at work, Charlotte arrived early and started preparing dinner. Jason, as usual, was at a business meeting and wouldn't be back until late in the evening. She decided to make a simple but very tasty dish. When Jason arrived home, tired and irritable after a long day, he found the dish Charlotte had prepared. Jason sat at the table, expecting the same boring dinner as always. But when he took his first bite, he was surprised. The flavor was incredible, and the texture was perfect. Without understanding how, he felt calmer and more satisfied with each bite. For the first time in a long time, he truly enjoyed a meal in his own home. The days went by, and Jason began to look forward to the next dinner prepared by Charlotte. Each meal brought a new smile to his face, something he hadn't experienced in a long time. The magic in Charlotte's kitchen was transforming Jason's cold routine into moments of true happiness. Each meal was more delicious than the last, and Jason began to be intrigued by the person responsible for such a positive change in his life. He imagined that the cook must be an elderly woman, with many years of experience in the kitchen, since the dishes were so tasty and well prepared. Charlotte dedicated herself more and more to her culinary creations, knowing that she was pleasing her boss, even though she had never seen or spoken to him. She relished her anonymity as it gave her the freedom to be creative without restrictions. At the end of the day, she would rush home to help care for her ailing father. One day, Jason left work early. Arriving home earlier than usual, he walked into the kitchen to find Charlotte busy finishing the day's dessert. When he saw her, he was surprised to discover that she was young and beautiful. Even so, he maintained the formal distance between employer and employee. "You must be Charlotte," Jason said, trying to hide his surprise. "Your food is really delicious." Charlotte was surprised to see Jason arrive so early. "Mr. Albianc, I didn't expect to see you now. I hope you enjoyed your meals." Jason, with a rare smile, replied, "Enjoyed isn't quite the word. Your food is incredible. I want to know more about you and how you manage to make such delicious dishes." Charlotte gave a shy smile. "Cooking is my passion, sir. It's my way of showing love and affection. I'm glad you enjoyed it." Even though she felt complimented, Charlotte maintained a professional attitude, avoiding any personal involvement with Jason. She felt a little nervous in his presence, finding him very attractive and noticing a different gleam in his eye. But she quickly dismissed the idea, thinking it was just her imagination. After all, in Charlotte's mind, a man like Jason would never really be interested in a simple cook like her. Jason wasn't in the habit of getting close to the servants in his house, but something about Charlotte intrigued him. She was very beautiful and her dishes gave him immense pleasure. So he started coming home early to see her without being noticed. With Jason's constant presence in the house, a silent feeling began to grow between the two of them. Jason was attracted to the beautiful cook, Charlotte, but memories of a past relationship gone wrong kept him away. Charlotte also began to develop feelings for him, but thought that a billionaire and a cook couldn't have a future together. Then one day, Jason couldn't hold back his feelings any longer and unexpectedly tried to kiss her. Surprised by his attitude, Charlotte managed to avoid the kiss, as she couldn't believe that a billionaire could really be interested in a cook. Jason, feeling vulnerable, said, "Charlotte, I can't help myself, I've been wanting to hold you in my arms for days." Charlotte, still trying to recover from the unexpected moment, replied, "And what do you expect from a cook? A love affair?" "No, Mr. Albianc, you've got to be kidding. I don't believe your feelings for me are true." With those words, she turned and went back into the kitchen, leaving Jason alone with his thoughts. Jason was disappointed by Charlotte's reaction, because he was really starting to like her. But he was sure that one day he would be able to prove his love. A few days later, he came home early and realized that Charlotte wasn't there. He asked the housekeeper what was going on and found out that her father had taken a turn for the worse and was in hospital. Without hesitation, Jason made a few calls and went straight to the hospital where Charlotte's father was. When he got there, he found Charlotte crying, worried about her father's condition. Jason hugged her and said, "Charlotte, I've spoken to some doctor friends and they're going to do the operation on your father today." "No, Mr. Albianc, we still don't have all the money to pay for the operation," Charlotte replied, worried. Jason looked at her lovingly and said, "Don't worry about it. Your father will be operated on today." Determined to show that his feelings were true, Jason stayed with her at the hospital, making sure that nothing was lacking in care for her father. When Charlotte saw how hard Jason had worked to save her father's life, she realized that he really did love her. The operation was a success. A few days later, with her father out of danger and recovering well, Charlotte said to Jason, "You cared about my father and did everything to get him operated on. You really like me, Sir Jason?" "Yes, Charlotte," Jason replied calmly. "I wanted to show you that my feelings for you are real." "Those who truly love can't bear to see their loved ones suffer, Charlotte," said Jason in a voice full of emotion. Touched by Jason's dedication and sincerity, Charlotte finally let her heart speak. "I never imagined you could be so sensitive. I think I misjudged you," she said, her eyes shining with tears. Jason smiled softly, coming even closer. "Maybe now you can see how much I love you. I confess that I spent a lot of my life not opening my heart to anyone, but everything changed when I met you, Charlotte. I began to observe you and see what an incredible and beautiful woman you are, and I fell in love with you," he said with his gaze fixed on hers. Charlotte, feeling the sincere love in Jason's eyes, finally gave in. "I can't deny that I was attracted to you from the moment I saw you in the kitchen at your house, Jason. But I hid my feelings because I thought you would never look at someone like me. But now I can declare, looking into your eyes, that I love you too, Jason," she whispered, allowing her feelings to finally be revealed. They then decided to give this love that had arisen between them a chance to live. As time went by, Jason and Charlotte's relationship became more and more solid. They learned to deal with their social and personal differences, discovering together that true love can overcome any barrier. Jason, once an arrogant and lonely billionaire, began to change. He became a loving and caring man, all thanks to Charlotte's love and positive influence. Charlotte, for her part, has also changed. She gained more confidence and courage, feeling valued and loved. Jason encouraged her to open a restaurant, because he knew she was a cook who would be very successful with her delicious food. And so she did, opening a beautiful restaurant that soon became a hit in the city. Everyone wanted to try the delicacies prepared by Chef Charlotte. Jason began to see life differently, appreciating the little things and becoming a better person every day. He changed so much that soon his friends and colleagues noticed a change in his attitude and behavior. He became kinder and more generous, not just to Charlotte, but to everyone around him. Charlotte's positive influence helped him reconnect with his humanity and find a greater purpose in life. Their wedding was a huge celebration, and Jason, very much in love, said, "You've changed my life." Charlotte, smiling, replied, "And you've shown me that even the hardest hearts can be softened with a little affection." They were able to see and prove that love can transform lives and overcome any obstacle, showing that when two people truly love each other, nothing is impossible. Someone's positive influence can change our lives for the better. This story teaches us that with patience, understanding, and affection, it is possible to overcome any challenge and find true happiness. If you enjoyed this life-changing love story, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel. Your participation is essential so that we can continue to bring you more incredible stories. Share it with your friends and help our channel grow. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.